Gavin's here. How are you, mate?
I'm all right,
Yeah,
Martin. How are you?
Did you have a good Christmas?
Oh my God.
Yes.
We went to Norfolk. Actually, it was very nice. Did lots of walking.
Okay.
The maddest thing that I saw was on Boxing Day, people swimming in the sea.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been so warm, hasn't it?
What is that all about?
I know.
No, it wasn't so. They said it was 4 degrees.
Yeah. That's warm
in the
for them.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'll stick to the shower. It's probably better.
Definitely.
Anyway, let me just say hello to these lovely
go
people.
ahead,
Hi
mate.
everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful, happy new year. 2024 is going to be the year of puzzling for you. And we're going to start it off now with bargains the likes of which you have never seen before.
That's fair enough for me. Now, Gavin brings us some incredible games. I haven't actually seen any of these. This is going to be the prices that are going to blow you away. Gavin's got some of his most popular games here at New Year's sale prices. We're going to kick off with the geography game, or puzzle if you like, and look at the price. You're saving, you're saving £8. I mean, great value for money. It's 40%.
Really?
Yes, 40% off.
Did I agree to that?
Probably, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, actually, the reason I'm doing this first is because last time I did this, it literally went ballistic. And this is going to be the last few of these now because we're working on something different at the moment. So this is probably going to be the absolute last chance to get this. Now, this is the geography jigsaw. It's a 3D jigsaw puzzle of landmarks of the UK and Ireland. And this is what it looks like when it's built. I hope you can see that nice and clearly, but what you won't be able to see from here is the 3D element of it, because on here are 25 stands, and if I just show you here like this, this is where you've got these pieces of the jigsaw. It's 150 pieces, by the way, and when you place those down there like that, you can actually put inside there the locations that we're actually using in the jigsaw. Now, there are loads and loads of locations. Just about everything of any importance anywhere in the United Kingdom is included in here.
Is the Create and Craft in there?
There is no Create and Craft in there. Peterborough is there. I'm sure Oundle is in there. But you and I will remain on the screen and not in the jigsaw, I'm afraid. Now, look, these are absolutely stunning. I'm going to just show you a few of these so you can see what you've got here. So here we've got the Millennium Stadium, the Eden Projects, the Albert Dock, John O'Groats, Stonehenge, you can see. So there's 25 of them like this.
Okay, that's
very difficult to do this and actually see that I'm showing you everything
What a
properly.
great learning tool.
Well, actually, not just from that point of view, but on the back of each one, you've actually got the information that you would want to be able to. I know it's difficult to get the focus on that.
They'll find the focus.
They'll find it. That's it. I'm holding still. So that is Buckingham Palace. There you are. You see, it tells you about. I'll read it. What it says. It basically says, I haven't got my reading glasses on.
I'll read it.
Sorry.
I think we know what Buckingham Palace is, don't we?
I think we
do. The famous Queen's Guards, Buckingham Palace has been the official London home of the royal family since 1837. It has 775 rooms, including 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices and 78 bathrooms.
Can you imagine getting the Hoover out before you get guests
around?
Isn't it? Anyway, there's 25 of these like this. And then in addition, all of these amazing landmarks that appear inside the booklet, so you can actually see, because they're obviously marked out on the map as well. So you've got national parks and places of natural beauty, which go on and on like that. And then you have got as well historic attractions. It's incredibly difficult doing this when you're looking at the thing upside down and you're trying to see yourself in a reflection in the thingy what's it on the telly, but that's life. We've got more of those sporting venues as well, castles and palaces, bridges, botanical gardens, and my favourite thing of all was when I put this together, the last one was something which I didn't have a category for.
Spaghetti Junction.
Spaghetti Junction.
Hey, my hometown.
Spaghetti Junction. Yes. So we put that under general, but there's also museums and cultural venues, and it builds itself into an absolutely...
It's a big piece jigsaw.
And it's chunky as well.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
Now, I'll tell you why this is such a great thing. There is no better way of learning than learning through play and learning through talking. So if you've got younger members of the family, be it children or grandchildren, they are going to thrive on learning about the United Kingdom. This is ages 6 to adult, only 150 pieces in the puzzle, and they are very, very nice, big, chunky pieces as well. So they'll be quite easy in the grand scheme of things to put together. Then you can start positioning all of these things on top of their stands as well. And then you can read the information about them that is on the reverse. And then for the rest of the places, you've got all the same information that you need inside the booklet as well.
Love it.
So it's a complete kit. And I must tell you one thing. One of my biggest frustrations, and I say this as well, as a parent of 4 modern day children, it's quite astonishing how people do not know about the United Kingdom and where things are.
Absolutely.
Can I tell you my favourite ever happy puzzle story?
Go on then.
Okay, so this is true. We once had a presenter who worked in our schools. And this gives you an idea as to how little people appreciate the United Kingdom. And he was going off to do a school programme in Cardiff. And he left the office. And about 2 hours later, he came back and I said to him, "Why are you here?" And he said, "Well, I got as far as Reading and I turned around and came back because I realised if I was going into Wales, I needed my passport."
Really?
I kid you not. This is the modern day young person.
Wow.
I know, it's very frustrating.
Wow.
We also had somebody who once wanted to go to a school in Newcastle the day after they'd done one in Brighton because they thought the two were local together.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway.
So this is going to be a learning process for a lot of people. That's something everybody would enjoy doing.
I think this is a lovely, lovely way of doing it.
£8.99. You can't get better than that,
That
can
is
you? Now, all of the
ridiculous.
puzzles and the games that we've got on the show are dispatched on the 12th. Okay.
Yep.
So, sorry, 10th, so bear that in mind. But again, you're buying something that's going to be really good fun. That is a very popular one. The landmarks of the UK and Ireland map in a jigsaw form with 3D landmarks. Absolutely brilliant. You're saving almost as much as you're spending. Put it away for half term if you're thinking what you're going to do with it.
And this is almost certainly going to be your very last chance of getting these as well.
Okay. Now, we've got a lot to show you and only another 50 minutes to do in it. The next one is called Colour Block.
Colour Block is a truly fabulous game with a wonderful story, and I want people to actually be able to appreciate this when I tell the story, because normally what I do is I describe this game and then at the end everyone sees the video and they go, "Oh, that's how it works." So obviously I'm not that good at explaining it. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the VT of Colour Block first of all, so that you've got an opportunity to see how wonderful Colour Block is.
Let's do it then. Now, before I let Gavin go on this, let me tell you that the geography is already proving popular and you're shopping ahead. Gavin's a regular visitor to us here at Crate & Craft and Herchanda before that, weren't you? Did you come?
My second home.
Yeah, exactly. So you're already shopping ahead at things that he has on the show because he's got some great deals for you. But we need to show you each one for those who've never seen them before.
And all of these have been on before, so
Yeah.
people will be familiar with
Yeah, they
them.
are, because they're
and
shopping
so they
ahead.
realise the bargain when they see them.
Definitely.
Now, this is Colour Block, and I cannot speak more highly of a puzzle than this.
Okay.
This was developed by a mum and dad called Ian and Penny Jenkins, who created the original version of this for their children. And after they saw the Genius Square come out with us, they decided that they should send their idea to me because they thought that anybody who found the Genius Square appealing was going to find this appealing as well. And they are absolutely right. And this is stunningly made, actually. I don't know whether you can appreciate that, but it all comes together in this sort of compact package thing.
Looks like one of our stamping platforms.
But it's not a stamping platform.
No.
Although you could stamp on it, but you break it. Now, inside here, we have got all the different challenge cards, which just sit there like so on here. And you've probably seen from the video that we've just looked at how this works. You have 18 of these pieces here, and you can see there are dark grey sections and there are white sections. And at the top over here, you can always see what the challenge is. So in this case here, and let me just take it out the frame to make it easier for people to see on the telly screen. Here, our challenge is to end up with one of each of these colours. So these pieces that we're going to use to cover the board will cover 90 of the 100 circles. And there are 100 circles in total, 10 of each of the colours. We've got to be left with one of each colour. Now, if I put that back in here like so, and I can simply block out the ones that are already in grey, put that one on there and that one on there, and it will leave us with the last few so that we can actually fulfill the challenge. So we'll put that on there like so. This one goes in here like this, and they clock on as well. You can probably hear this nice little clocking sound. Now, I will tell you that what starts off quite easy becomes really, really hard. This is the sort of puzzle that you want to buy for somebody who really likes being stretched in what they're doing. So if you know somebody that likes nothing more than sitting down with a Rubik's Cube or something like that and really wants to be challenged, then this is an absolutely perfect thing for them to have. And with the ridiculous discount that you've got on this, then you definitely should consider this. Now, here we are, I've got two more to put in there, put that one on there, and then we'll put this one on here as the last one. Now, what you can see here is that we're left with 5 of the colours. So we've got the dark green there, and the light green there, and we've got the purple there, and the yellow there, and the pink there. We've got 2 pieces left, and so what we have to do is position these 2 pieces so that we are left with just one of each colour. So we know the 5 colours that we are already going to put in there. So if I do this, for example, put that one in there, and I think if I put that one, no, I've not done that correctly in there. Okay, what about if I put that in there and then put this one in here? Does that work? I think that does work, because then we are left, as you can see, with one of each of the colours. Now, there are 4 different types of challenges. Let's just remove this like so. So I mentioned to you, you've got the ones where you have to get one of each colour. Then on the other side, you'll see, in this case here, you're going to have 10 of the same colour.
10 blues left,
yeah.
okay.
And then as you go through, they get harder. So sometimes you'll find you've got 5 of one colour, 5 of another colour, or even 5 of one colour and 5 of an unknown colour as well there. But the absolute pièce de résistance is the last puzzle, which I had in front of me a second ago, and here it is here. And this was their original puzzle. This is a remarkable piece of mathematical genius here. So you've got no help here at all. You've got to use all of these to fill all of these spaces, but it is possible to do this as 10 different puzzles so that you are left with 10 of each individual colours.
Wow. So
that you're left with 10 orange and 10 purple and 10 white, etc. This is a lifetime of puzzles, and it's normally £19.99. And
£10.79 club members, yeah, already going for it. I mean, it's a great challenge. It's a single-player game, if you want it to be, something that challenges the mind, and we all know the benefit of things that challenge the mind these days. So, fantastic. 650-578 is its item number. It's another brilliant one from the Happy Puzzle Company. It's called Colour Block, and it's £10.79. OK, which one's next?
So next we're going to go
I've got it. Next one next is Got It.
Right. Let me pull Got It from over here. Right. Now, I'm going to tell you why this game is called Got It. Well, the reason it's called Got It, it wasn't originally called Got It. It was originally called something else, which no one knows what it. I'll tell you what it was called. It was actually going to be called Grawlix.
Grawlix.
That's what the inventor called it. Grawlix. G-R-W-I-A-X.
Got a real catchy name, hasn't it?
Tell you what, I've got a little challenge for anybody out there. Anybody wants to email in, studio@creatingcraft.com, if you know what a Grawlix is without looking it up online.
Oh, well, yeah. How can we trust them not to look at... Hey, Siri.
See if you know what a Grawlix... I had no idea. I've never met anyone that knew what a Grawlix was without looking it up, first of all. Now, this is the world's first game that uses British Sign Language, Morse code, Braille, semaphore, all of these different code languages. You've got hieroglyphics in here and some made-up codes as well. And you get this lovely little crib sheet, which you can see here, holding up to the camera now, although that's why I would have held it straight up there. So you can work out what each letter is. Now, on each of the challenge cards, and there are bucket loads of them, you have a question, and your answers are in code. And you are racing against the other players in order to crack the code.
Crack the code and answer the question.
And they're quite, so you can see here, for example, on this front card here, can you name the superheroes? You roll the die, and whatever number comes up on the die, that's the puzzle that you're going to solve. It's an 8-sided die, which is quite useful because there are 8 options, each one using one of the different codes that's there. So just to tell you what those are, because there's no way anyone's going to be able to work them out at this point here. But the top one is Wonder Woman, then you've got Spider-Man, Captain America, Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Aquaman, The Incredible Hulk, and Robin. And the reason I know that is because for each card, on the back at the bottom, you get the answers there. And if we just look at some of the other questions you've got famous literary characters.
How many days? How
many days in whatever it is. What are these modes of transport? What do you get if you mix? ... etc., etc. So it might be things like colours, it might be ingredients, and so on and so forth.
Name the football team.
Name the football team. Always has to be some football involved somewhere. What animals make these noises, that type of thing. This is a unique game, and again, it is thoroughly educational.
£10.79.
Again, £10.79, which is utterly insane because this is normally £19.99. I'm going to say to people as well, by the way, that during the year, if you know that you're going to have your children and grandchildren going to lots of birthday parties, I speak as a parent here of 4 children, the ridiculous expense of buying birthday presents for people. So if you have an opportunity to get something which is really of high value, that is going to be an absolute bargain like you've got today, then now is the time to take advantage of that.
There you go.
And that is got it. That is an amazing game.
Okay, I've got it. 540198 is the item number. You can get it if you choose that item number. £10.79. Right, what's next?
Next one.
Ice Cubed.
Next one is Ice Cube.
Ice
and this one is a Gavin original. I tell you, can I just tell you I've got to tell you a funny story. This.
Oh, no,
I'm so sorry. I know I'm here to show you all this stuff, but I have to tell you the story. I invented this. I was on a school trip with one of the kids for 5 days down in Bournemouth. And they took us off to Brownsea Island, which, if anybody knows, is just off the coast where Poole is. And it's got lots of amazing wildlife, red squirrels and stuff like that. And I was just an accompanying parent, and they said, we won't need you. You can go and sit in the bar, or whatever, which I did, and started working on this puzzle. And I got a little bit carried away, and I suddenly looked up, and the island was empty. I was sitting in the beer garden, and literally the island was empty. And I phoned the headmaster and said, where are you? And they were all back on the other side of the island. They'd left me there on Brownsea Island. There you are.
Good of their kids.
That's how absurd.
No, we don't need Dad.
Now, this is a mathematical puzzle, and it's really great because there's a lot of logical deduction involved here. Now, we have 6 ice cubes, and these ice cubes have all got numbers on the different sides. And we're not going to use every one of the ice cubes at any point. It's up to 5 of them that we're going to use. This is the easy puzzle. Now, if you look on the outside here, and we'll need to do this. Am I in the wrong place on the overhead? Shall I move that over to there so that you can see? So we've got 4 numbers around the outside. We've got 12, 17, 9, and 4. And we know from here that we're going to use the orange cube and we're going to use the white cube. And what we've got to do is arrange the numbers so that they all add up to the numbers simultaneously at the same time. So if I put down there, for example, if I put on here, and it's going to be quite difficult just to do this without holding it up afterwards.
We can see.
You can see. What do we put here? 4 and 5. Let's try 4 and 5 over here. So 4 and 5 makes 9 on that side. Okay, nice, easy to start. So there's 4 and 5 making 9. On this side we needed 4 and we've got 3 and 1. We needed 12 here and we've got 12 and 0. And over on this side, we've got 10 and 7, which adds up to 17. Now, I've made that look really easy, and that's because that is easy, because that is puzzle number 1. But as we go through, they get harder and harder. So by the time you get, for example, to here, which is puzzle number 27, we know that we need to use 4 cubes, and we know that one of those cubes is going to be the orange one, and we know that one of them is going to be the blue one, but we don't know which 2 of the others we need. And the numbers get higher and higher and higher. And as you go through, it gets harder and harder. This is what we call a graded activity, until you get to the very hardest puzzle, where you've got these numbers here that you have to create, and 5 cubes, but you have no idea which 5. Clever. So there are 6 cubes. You never have a puzzle where you actually use all of the cubes, because actually that would make it a bit too easy. So you're doing it with this. So this, if you ever wanted to own a Gavin original, then this is your opportunity.
Well, I
this
tell you what,
Ice
just
Cube.
simple maths, you know, and stimulating the brain again, fantastic idea. More of a challenge than a game. You're not looking to beat somebody at this. What you're looking to do is to work out the puzzle.
Yes.
And I love that idea.
Yes.
What sort of age upwards?
So this is suitable for ages 8 and up.
Okay.
And it is something which can just as easily be used as a maths tool to help improve mathematical
Yeah, I like
skills
that.
as it can to challenge yourself. Interestingly enough, I know some people that really gobble these up really, really quickly. They just see it. They get it.
Some
They look
people
at the
will,
numbers.
yeah, like the people that can do Rubik's Cube. They're like,
Other people, we'll call them normal people, like me, who will sit there for hours and hours and hours, even though I invented the puzzle. It doesn't mean I can actually remember how to do any of them. But that's life. That's the way,
so that's
the
Ice Cubed, 078 200, the item number again, amazing price, £8.99.
God, that's
next up, we've got Fluzzle.
Oh, okay. Fluzzle is a beautiful puzzle. By the way, the reason it's called Fluzzle is that is an abbreviation for flower puzzle.
Okay.
Because this is all about flowers. And you know, the crafting community love this.
They
do.
do,
Love doing things like this. This is a head-to-head game that you play. And you roll a die which initially chooses which of the flower gardens you're going to use. So this says number 5, so we'll find number 5 here. There we are, that's number 2, 3, and we've got enough here for 2 players to play together. Of course, there you are, there's number 5 there. Now, if I show you this first of all, hope you can see here that we've got some nice little borders going around the different gardens, and it's those green borders that are going to be critical to us being able to solve things, because each one of those is a little garden. The green ones that you can see, you don't build in those because they're just patches of grass. So we put this inside, like so. We just clip it into the back, and your opponent does the same thing as well, so that you've both got the same thing in at the same time. And now, almost if you want to imagine that you're playing this a little bit like Scrabble, where you've got your hand of tiles. Now, I want to show you the tiles here. There are 3 different types of flower, and each of them comes in 3 different colours. So you've got roses, and you've got tulips, and you've got daisies. There's a tulip here, and there's another tulip there. And let's show you the roses. Have I not shown you? Here's a rose. There's a nice rose there, and a nice rose there. So you've got 9 different combinations altogether. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to build your flower gardens in a better way, a more effective way than your opponent. And you can use the things that are in your hand. What am I missing? I'm missing a purple rose. There you are. So now you can actually see the 9 different tiles. And there's loads and loads of all of them. And you take 7 tiles in your hand, and you have an opportunity to swap them if you need to swap them. Now, on your turn, you roll this die. And this die will come up with a number of different possible patterns. There are 6 sides to it, and actually 7 possible patterns, but that I'll come to in a moment. And you can create that shape using what you've got in your hand, working across different flower beds. Now, your perfect flower bed is going to be where you have identical flowers in identical colours, and that will score you highest. Different colours but all the same flower, or all the same colour but different flowers, will score you next, and random flowers will score you the lowest amount. But you can only score anything at all if you actually complete one of your flower beds.
Okay.
You keep on playing, taking it in turns, and everyone plays at the same time, replacing your hand of flowers until somebody can't go. So you have to be strategic, and you have to think about what you need to try and leave behind in terms of space to give yourself the best possible chance. Now, this was created by a professional Brazilian opera singer. I know. Gentleman called Pedro Ometo, if you want to look him up and hear him singing on YouTube as well. It is a truly beautiful game. It is a head-to-head game, and it's got a lovely feel, but these pieces are so nice and chinkly and stuff like that. This has been an enormously popular game for us, and I think it's one that people will really love, especially given the price, because it's normally $22.99.
$11.69, yeah, amazing. Amazing, $11.69. Everything we've shown you so far is very, very busy. Think of like Scrabble with flowers. That's the way I'd look at that.
That's a nice way
really clever game. A really clever game. Something a little bit different. You're building your flower beds, and the more regimented your flower bed is, the more points you score.
Do you know what? Scrabble with flowers. I really like that.
It's quite good. It's sort of what it looks like to me. 8+, 2 players, fantastic. Now,
easy to transport around as well.
Absolutely, because I'm thinking about our viewers. You know, you might be buying these to play with your kids, but this is something that you'll play on those nights at the caravan. This is something you'll take when you're on holiday with you to play, rather than the usual things. That's what Gavin does. Brings us really thought-provoking games that also educate as well. I mean, the geography, for example. Okay, it's a 150-piece jigsaw, but when you've done it, you've going to learn where every decent landmark in the UK is, probably where the counties are, where some of the towns are. So it doesn't matter whether you're 8 or 80. I think you'll learn something from that particular jigsaw.
Do you know something? I said to you that we went to Norfolk as a family last week, and it was amazing because our youngest, who's 12, Shiri, she was trying to find Norfolk on the map, and her instincts took her to the places where we'd been previously. So last holiday we went to Cornwall, and the one before that we went to North Wales, and she just assumed it would be on that side. It's interesting how children's minds work. And so I sort of said, no, we're going over to the east.
Really good
this time. So
it's £8.99.
This is a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest with you.
So when they get to choosing which university, they'll remember this, because they'll remember all the counties and where those university towns are as well.
Well, can I say we've done universities in London and Birmingham. I think that's either because they're near home or it's just in the middle of the country.
Right. So next up is Quazzle. We've done Fluzzle. Let's talk Quazzle.
And guess what, by the way? I've got a giant Quazzle here as well.
Okay, I'll bring in the one that you actually get.
And while we set this up, there's a lovely little video which will explain Quazzle to you. So while I'm busy setting this up, why don't we find out about Quazzle?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Quazzle, another fabulous game from the Happy Puzzle Company.
With another great story. This one was invented by a Welsh dentist.
Nice.
Dr. Adam Porter. There you go. He gets a nice little name check. And I've got a giant one. This is the size that you get, and all the dice that you've got there are normal dice size, and they're all identical. So you each get 9 dice, and I've got giant ones here, which will make it easier for people to show. These really are absolutely enormous. You can see they're almost as big as me, not quite. Okay, but there you go. Now, it starts off nice and easy. We are basically racing against each other to try and fulfill different criteria. So if we take here, for example, this puzzle here, and we start off without anything on our
Remember, we're doing it in big size.
We're doing it in a big size here. It's the smaller size that you get to take home. And what we've got to do is we've got to race to create what's going on in here. So here, we just have the nice, easy puzzle here. We just have to make sure that we've got one there like that and one there like that, and then a blank somewhere else along there. So that becomes nice and easy. But as you go through, things get a little bit harder. And we're not playing with just one of these. We're playing with 6 cards at the same time. So if I put these out here like that, a game in itself consists of us trying to race to complete as many of these simultaneously as we can. So watch this. That one will go in there like there. And there, we've managed to fulfill the criteria there.
Right.
At the same time, if I put this one in here, we've managed to complete that one there like that.
I see.
But we now need to have one of these next to this one, and I've sort of snookered myself from being able to do that. But what I can do is I could put that one in there and put this one in there, because that now gives me the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Similarly, if I now put a yellow one in there like so, and the red one in there like that, we've managed to fulfill that one. This one, if I put the purple in there like that, we're going to put in there like that. But it leaves me now in a position with the last one that I'm not going to be able to get that in there based on the way that I've done it. Now, can it be done? Who knows? Maybe. I've just rushed my way through this to just demonstrate it. Now, those are the easier cards. So it doesn't mean that it'll always be possible to get all 6. What you're trying to do is get the highest possible number. And as soon as you've declared, you then turn over the timer, and your opponent has 30 seconds to try and prove that you're wrong, that there is a higher number that they can reach. So, for example, if I declared what I'd just done like that, you'd then have 30 seconds to try and prove that there were actually all 6 were possible to do. So that's how you challenge people. Then the cards suddenly get a lot more difficult. So here, you've got things where you've got 3 in a row, okay, or different criteria. So you have to make sure that you don't end up with the same number of those 2 colours. Sometimes they have to be exactly the same, all different sorts of things, all different types of shapes. And it becomes a real brain twister as you go through this. There's also ones where you're working with different shapes that you have to do as well within patterns and so on and so forth. So for anybody who likes games, again, like the Genius Square, that type of thing, this will appeal to you. This is an award-winning game, absolutely magnificent game called Quazzle, and it's just over half price, isn't it? Because it's £8 saving.
Absolutely, and it certainly is an exciting game. It won't be like pulling teeth, because it was invented by a dentist. Sorry. That's the best I could do, Gavin. It's been a busy Christmas.
You're watching Create and Craft.
So £8.99 is the price. 636-251 is the item number. OK, Pandemonium. Now, remember, I gave you a little preview of this one when Dan was having a show where the demo had turned into Pandemonium. Let's have a look at this. The fun family game of shape-sorting madness.
Right. This is another Gavin original. And people often say to me, which is my favourite of my own games that I've created. This is my favourite of it. And again, this is a race. Now, when I put this together, the whole idea that I had was I wanted to create a child's game for adults.
OK.
Now, when you have toddlers who start off doing early puzzles, one of the most primitive's the wrong word, early years types of puzzles that they do is shape sorters. And shape sorters are generally very straightforward. Unfortunately, this one is not, because you're going to get 6 pieces and they've got teeth down the side. Not teeth that actually, we've finished with the dentist now.
Yeah.
I know, with the bad jokes. And we basically have to recreate what is on the challenge card here.
Crikey.
Now, and we're racing with each other to find the pieces and to do that. Now, here's the problem. You've got loads and loads of pieces that look very similar, but they're not. Okay, they are different, in fact. And of course, you've got to stick to the right colours here. So I'm looking at this here, this one here. No, does that? No, you see, and this is what happens: is you suddenly think you found the right piece, and it's not there. And then when you try and put these bits together, you suddenly find yourself stuck because you haven't got the right number of teeth in the right place, etc., etc. So the whole idea here is that we've taken what effectively is a baby game, we've turned it into an adult version. And it's great, great fun, because you are We've pulled the teeth out, now we're going to tear our hair out from doing this as well. This is Pandemonium, and again, it's been a massive, massive hit for us. And you're going to get it today for just £10.79.
I know, these prices are incredible, guys. You need to be shopping as quickly as you can and getting the games that you want, because you've got all the winter to go, the spring, the summer, all sorted gaming-wise. And what I like about Gavin's games are, you don't have to think too hard, but you do have to think a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not like playing a role-playing sort of like... a game where you're just shaking a dice and moving things around. You have to really engage your brain. And of course, we read all about how doing this type of thing is so good for keeping the brain stimulated. These are the type of games that you want to get grandma and granddad involved in as well.
So from a children's point of view, unfortunately these days too much time is spent looking at screens, and very often they're screens that are being held very close to their faces, and that has a terrible downside, because of course it means people lose the ability to look each other in the eye and understand how emotions work, etc., etc. Unfortunately, that is the world that we're in. So it's extremely important that we bring people back to playing games together as a family and using their heads and their hands simultaneously, not just on a screen. And that's why these are important. So the other end of the scale, exactly as you say, is that as we get older, it's important that we keep the brain cells ticking. And anything that you're doing that is helping you to keep up with your brain working its way through things is going to be useful and helpful.
Pandemonium is just £10.79. That's another great game. What's next?
Well, I just want to go back actually, because I can see how quickly these are selling, and I don't want people to miss out on this geography as well. Remember, this is the map of the UK, which is going to teach you where all of the different landmarks are and stuff like that, and all the information that will teach you about the famous landmarks of the UK. This is going to be your last chance to get this. It's a huge discount on it. It's a 150-piece jigsaw puzzle suitable for ages 6 to adult, but more importantly, you can spend time with your children and grandchildren showing them exactly where things are in the UK and actually building an understanding of the geography of the beautiful country that we live in.
100%. OK, so that's geography. It's just £8.99 today, which is almost half price for club members. 025159. Next up, it's called Suited.
Next is Suited, is another Gavin original. This is the only card game that I've ever invented. I think we've got a VT for this as well. Have we got a VT? I think we have got a VT.
You want to have a look?
I do want to have a look. It might help if I know how to play it as well.
Go on then. OK, so who's this one suited to?
Everyone in the family. Dear, oh dear. Terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible.
OK.
Right.
OK.
I wanted to create a card game.
OK.
That was going to break all of the rules of card games.
OK.
Now, the first thing you notice about when you play a card game is that you've got the 4 suits. You've got the hearts, the diamonds, the spades, and the clubs. And the hearts are red, and the diamonds are red, and the spades are black, and the clubs are black.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
That's just tradition, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just so. Do we have to stick to tradition? No. And when you get your cards, we only get one of each suit on each card. So why do we do that? It's just tradition, isn't it? So what we have here is we have the game that breaks all of the rules. Now I'm going to just show you some of these cards so that you can see. They have 12 things on them in varying quantities and in varying amounts of each of the suits. Sometimes they'll all be the same suit, sometimes they'll all be different, sometimes there'll be one colour, sometimes there'll be multiple colours. That gives you an example of the range of these. Now this is a game which works on the basis of probability. You each get 10 cards, 5 of the green cards which are these ones here, which look like that, and 5 of these ones here, which is what we call the challenge cards, and these are called the response cards. Now, the challenge card is something which you set for the next player along to do. So you will hand them a challenge. Okay, let's give you some examples of some challenges. So here you can see that you're challenging the next person to play a card which has 6 or less blue items on it. Okay.
Right, okay.
Or 6 or more red items, or 6 or more clubs on it, or 8 or more of any colour at all,
Blimey.
or 7 or less of that, or 5 or less spades, and so on and so forth. Lots of different challenges. And the key to this is not random, because you will notice that depending on what appears on the card, there is going to be more or less chance of your opponent being able to fulfill that, depending on how many cards they've got.
Okay.
So you've got to use your cards in a way that's going to try and force them to not be able to play.
Yeah.
So you set the challenge. So unlike most games where you play 1 card, here you play 2. Your first card will be to satisfy the challenge which has been set to you by the previous player. And the second challenge will be, the second thing is that you will then set the challenge for the next player. And if they're unable to play, they have to pick up 2 more cards.
Right.
Now there are other,
a bit like dominoes.
There are other traps inside here. So you've got, what was I doing with these things here? So you've got opportunities to change your cards, or to make other people change their cards, or to pick another person who has to pick up 2 cards, or make everybody pick up 2 cards. The usual things that you would get in Uno and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the simple thing is, as with most of these games, you've got to be the first person to get rid of your hand of cards. Now, there's a lovely little catch in this, and that is, if you play one of these special cards, then it does force everybody to do something, but the next person has a free go to put down one of their response cards.
Okay.
So they can use that as an opportunity to get rid of something which is going to be difficult for them to get rid of because it's very specific. So it's all a game based on probability. And again, this has been a huge international success for us. I think it's actually been most successful, believe it or not, in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
£6.29, it'll be successful here at that price. Something a little bit different. Once again, a little bit of a challenge to the mind and to the brain. That's what we like. 730571 is its item number. Now, as we've gone through the games, you're picking each of them up. Pandemonium is now one of the most popular because the pennies dropped with that one and lots of people are going for Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Geography is still popular and Got It is getting popular as well. So there are some very unusual games here that I think, you know, Gavin does an amazing job at bringing us incredible games. If he just brought the same games every time he was here, it wouldn't be the same, would it? It's nice to see some different games. I've not seen any of these before, Gav.
Well, you'll have to take them all home with you and
I don't know.
spend the rest of your life playing things.
Yeah, I think so.
Where were we up to now? We are now up to
Garden Maze,
the Garden Maze Genius. Where did I put my Garden Maze Genius down? What did I do with my God? Do you know what? I'll have to grab this one here.
Garden Maze Genius.
It's okay. It's over here. I'll just grab the one that was on screen there. Now, this is a Genius game, as in the Genius Square, the Genius Star, the Genius Gems, Be Genius. This is one that we've done suitable for ages 5 to 10. It's a very specific age range that we've got here.
Right, okay.
And this is also the first of the Genius games to actually have a physical element with it. So if I just take this out of the box here like so, what we've got here is 16 houses, and I'm just going to take out the balls because I don't want to lose them. Can you just hold on to those for 1 second for me? If you don't mind. We'll put those like that, and there you go. I only needed one of those. There you are. I've got 2. Look at the care. This is what happens when you have so many games on the show. There's just nowhere left to put anything. Now, I'll take those back from you. Okay. Thank you. And what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to position the different houses. Now, what might be quite difficult for you to see here is that these houses have actually got numbers on them. I'm going to hold that up to the camera and we'll just see if we can see, if we zoom in there, there's a number 15 on that one at the top there. It's going to be quite hard. You can see more of my beard than anything else. No, it's there, just in the centre there.
Oh, right, yes, I see it, yeah. It's,
okay, they've all got numbers on now. What?
It's right on the peak of that now. There you go, see it there, number 15. See that there now, there, yeah.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to roll our dice here, as we always do with the Genius games. And whatever comes up, we're going to have to satisfy those conditions. So we need to find house number 1, and that's going to go in position A1.
Okay.
And house number 16, which is going to go into C1 there. And these are all different. So they've got different, there's number 16, and that's going to go into C1 there like that. It can go on any orientation. And house number 1, I'm going to look around for and find. So we've got that in there like so, in A1. And then we're going to have to fulfill the rest of this so that we can get the ball to have a path to run through. So you can see there like that, it can go through there. And all we're going to have to do is get the ball to be able to go from the start to the finish. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that this is the first one that actually has a physical element to it. So what we will be doing at the end, I'm just going to put these in just place just for now so we can demonstrate. Obviously, I'm doing it too quickly. Again, this is for 5 to 10-year-olds. Goes in here like so.
You're making a rolling ball maze, aren't you?
That's exactly what you're doing, but you're using the entrances into the little gardens in such a way so that it will go from one end to the other.
I really, yeah.
You want to know the coolest thing? I'll show you the coolest thing. These little thumb grips at the side, because if you've got small hands that are using these and they're tipping it backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
And so what you've got here is you then get the ball in. You've got to make sure the ball doesn't drop. Okay, so we've got to get the ball to go through one side like so, and then when it's gone through there, we've got to get into the next side. It won't go in there, it'll go across into there, and so on and so forth until you can get it to come out at the other end. So we've got the starting point, which is here, and the finishing point, which is there, and loads of different possible challenges, because obviously you're going to get different combinations every time you roll the dice. And that is the Garden Maze Genius. Very
I
good.
like that. That's clever.
Very good for developing dexterity skills, very good for hand-eye coordination, and for anybody as well who has difficulty with fine motor skills, this is very, very useful as well.
112829 is its item number. It's £8.99. You're saving £11 on that one. £11.
So that's less than half price.
I know. Right, what have we got next?
Right, where are we?
Oh, the curveball is next.
Oh, no,
I'm interested to see this one.
Right, so there is a video actually that back in the Hochanda days I did this video. Look, let's just hang on. I'm creating so much chaos here. Hang on. Right, this is the curveball, and it looks just like a normal bowling ball. When you unscrew it, you'll find inside that there's various bits that you need, and this will not roll in a straight line because the ball is weighted. So the ball goes in there like that. And if I try and roll it along here, we know it's... Whoa!
Oh, goodness me. That's
Okay.
like one of my woods when I go bowling.
Exactly, yes. So there's a lovely little video which we're going to have a look at now, and you'll see exactly how it works. But not only that, you'll see what I look like without a beard. If I can get it to go. Of course, it went completely the wrong direction. So I ought to have tried to work out, I'm off camera now as well, there you go. I did try to work out exactly where the weighting was. I'm going to actually come around here this time and see if I can get it to go round here. So I've turned the weighting around this time, so hopefully this time it will curve all the way around. So let's try now. Oh, I just missed it. That was pretty impressive though, and as if by magic. If you're watching, it'll be all right on the night. This is the craft store. Right, let's just get that back over here. Come up. Oh, right, just about. I'm going to try one more time now. And what you get with this is a whole load of challenges. So you can either play yourself or you can play it with someone else. This is enormous fun, and you can do it on more or less any surface, outdoors or indoors. Probably not on the grass, because that will send it even more wayward. But let's try one more time. That's it, put it on this side, I think, and it should curve the way I want it to go. Oh! It's almost coming back to me like a boomerang.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
That was so close. But there you are, that is curveball, and it's a lovely game.
I might just pinch one of those, paint it white and take it to the bowls club next year, because it looks about the size of the jack for the bowl. I might just give it to the opposition and say, your turn.
Do you bowl?
I do, yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, play for a local team.
So I think what's nice about this is that anybody picks this up does not expect that what is going to happen is going to happen. And of course, you can work things out with it because you can sense where the weighting is, and therefore you can position what you're doing. So again, this is another one which is very good for developing a whole range of skills: visual perception, spatial awareness, lots of things as well, hand-eye coordination. So this is a really, and also, by the way, this is, even though, you know, you associate this with doing this outdoors, you can do this indoors as well. We do ours indoors on any surface.
I tell you what, there's a few cats that would like that as well, isn't there?
I think there are many pets out there that would quite like that. I know my dog, Barney, would... do you know, it's the first time Barney's ever had a mention on the show. There you are. Hello, Barney. Hope you're enjoying watching Daddy on Create and Craft. Fathered by
I'm having fun.
Not birth. Anyway, right. Can we move on to face?
We can do what you like.
Okay. Now I think we'll move on. I mean, literally, can I tell you the absolute chaos that I've created here, because I tried to squeeze everything in, and we've only got 7 minutes left. Right now, face to face.
It's come off the table. Sorry.
The word inevitable does spring to mind.
Yeah,
I have to say,
didn't it? Sorry about that.
Right, that's okay. Right, where were we? I hope you can see these clearly. Now, each of these appears in 6 different colours, and there are 6 different faces. And we have loads and loads of puzzles. This is a single player game here with lots of different puzzles. And what you have to do here is you have to complete the puzzle so that everything on each side at the same time is either completely different or exactly the same. So you'll see here, it'll tell you some of the information, but you need other information. And where you see it appearing grey, that tells you what it will look like, but it doesn't tell you the colour that you're going to get. Now, the best way to illustrate what these will look like at the end is to actually show you some of the solutions, if I've got any room left on the table. So if you look here, I hope you can see on some of these, for example, if we look at number 34, we zoom into number 34 there, you can see that on that side there, they are all the same expression on the face, but they're all different colours. And if you were to look from all of the other angles, you would see exactly the same thing happen. So you can see that we've got there, I don't know what you want to call these. There's a miserable face. I would call
sad
that,
face.
Thank
sad
you.
Face.
Sad
Smiley
face. Smiley face.
Sad face.
What's this? We have, I would call that angry face there. Cunning face.
Devilish.
Nothing face.
Yeah.
And one more, which is going to be, have we had that one? Yes, we've got that one there.
Yeah.
Have we got that one there? Yes, we've got that one. Yes, that was oh, hello.
There you go.
The winking face.
A winking face.
There you go. So you've got the 6 different faces there. Lots of puzzles based on that. Now, it comes in a really compact thingy. So this is very, very good for travel as well. Okay? And this is another huge saving. This is, again, you're saving more than you're spending.
£5.39. Every single game we've shown you tonight. And it's a wide variety. So some are going to appeal to some are going to appeal to others. I can tell you the geography, the colour block, got it, ice cubes, and the pandemonium. That one's really popular as well. Suited's now popular. They're all great games.
By the way, I am just going to say this. I'm going to single this one out because we looked at this beginning. Go away for 1 second, Martin. Just come here. Come here. Just you, me, viewer. Okay. Now, this, I promise you, is absolutely amazing. I am in love with this puzzle. The story behind it is beautiful, but the puzzle is even more beautiful. If you know somebody that really, oh, you've switched me to camera 2. If you know somebody that really likes doing puzzles like Rubik's Cube, like 30 Cube, things that are really going to challenge them, that is going to be absolutely amazing for you. And they switched me back to camera 1 as well. So there you go. If you're going to buy one thing from today, get this one, and as well, your last opportunity.
Can I come back?
This one. You can come back. Welcome back. Did you have a nice break?
Yeah, I did, thanks.
How are things for you? Do you know we are 2 puzzles away from actually having got through everything. I'm not going to have time to demonstrate them properly, but I'm going to go and grab them because I've literally just created, it's going to take about an hour to clear up from this show. These two actually are sister games. They're both card games of a different sort. Keys to the Castle is lovely. If I just show you on the back here, what you've got is you've got a grid that you create, which is a 6x6 grid, and you're racing against your opponent to unlock doors to get from one side of the maze to the other side of the maze with all of these different characters.
Love it.
A lovely, lovely family game, suitable for ages 8 to adults and for 2 to 4 players. And these are made of the most beautiful materials as well.
Okay.
And its sister game is called Observation, where you're basically trying to find different categories of character in the correct numbers that they need to appear. So you can see there's different types. There's aliens, there's cats, there's dogs, there's safari animals, all different types of things. But you've also got these devilish little penguins that sit inside there to confuse you as well. So these are another really nice family game. This one is 6+, and this one is suitable for 2 to 6 players. Another whopping great big saving, less than half price, because you're saving £8.90 and paying just £8.09.
We've only got 2 minutes left, right? The most popular game, unsurprisingly, has been Geography.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is pretty much your last chance to see it. So remember, 150 pieces, map of the UK with 3D landmarks and all the county boundaries and everything on there as well. It's really, really clever. I don't think there's anyone watching now who could literally point out every county, exactly where they are, who could point out exactly where the Millennium Dome is, or where, I don't know, Hadrian's Wall starts and finishes. I think everybody could learn something from this.
Absolutely. It's great fun to do. And of course, you've got the vertical thing so it looks 3D as it goes through as well.
From youngsters to people our age, older, slightly older people, I think everybody could learn something from that, and it's just £8.99.
And let's give one more mention to Got It as well, because this
It.
is the world's first puzzle that uses British Sign Language, semaphore, braille, all of those things as well.
Yeah, that's clever. You crack the code to get the question and the answer, which I really like as well. Very, very cool, that.
I'm not sure we could have possibly fitted much more into that
No, we've managed to get everything in as well, haven't we? And we've still got 40 seconds or so left. So an amazing range of games. If you were to pick one, and you're not allowed to pick Geography, if somebody had already bought Geography, or Colour Block, what would you pick? No, or Colour Block, what would you pick?
Look, I said...
Those two you can't pick.
I said before that Pandemonium was my favourite game that I've invented, because it just looks so easy and it's so confusing, and your brain will just tell you one thing and do something completely different.
I think our director likes the Garden Maze. I think
for ages 5 to 10.
Yeah, he'll be playing that one with his kids. OK, right, we're out of time. I'm going to let a guest menu be read by this guest, and I will see you in a couple of hours. Thanks, Gavin.
That's all right.